All right, let's just jump right into it. Today, we're going to talk about something that is honestly completely changing the game for blockchains. I'm talking about layer twos and why, right now, they are more important than they have ever been. Okay, so let's start with the big glaring issue. Blockchains, they have a scaling problem, a huge one. It's kind of funny. It's a problem that comes from being too successful. The more people use them, the more they just grind to a halt. And we have got to figure this out. So why does this happen? Well, it all boils down to this classic idea called the blockchain trilemma. Imagine you have three things you want. You want speed, you want security, and you want decentralization. The hard truth? With a base layer, a layer one, you just can't have all three at once. It's like, pick two. And for chains like Ethereum, they made a choice. They went all in on rock-solid security and decentralization. And you know what that means? Speed and cost, they kind of got left behind. And that choice, that trade-off, it creates this massive traffic jam, what we call the blockchain bottleneck. So what does this actually feel like if you're trying to use a popular blockchain like Ethereum? Get this, 15 to maybe 30. That's it. That is the number of transactions per second that Ethereum's main network can handle. Just to give you some perspective, something like Visa, they're doing thousands every second. So you can see, right, for a network that wants to be the foundation for a new global financial system, that number is a huge problem. And boy, you really feel this limitation whenever things get exciting on-chain. The minute demand spikes, it's like a chain reaction of pain. First, gas fees. The cost to get anything done, they just go to the moon. We're talking hundreds of dollars for a simple swap sometimes. Then your transactions just get stuck. They slow to a crawl. And what happens then? Well, everyday users, people like you and me, we just get priced out. It becomes a system that only the rich can afford to use. But here's the twist, and this is really important to get. This isn't a mistake. It's not a bug. It's actually a feature. It's a deliberate design choice. Ethereum's main layer was built from the ground up to be insanely secure and decentralized. That was job number one. This bottleneck, it's the price we pay for that incredible foundation, but it also makes it crystal clear that we need another way to get the speed we need. And that is where the hero of our story comes in, the layer 2 solution. So let's talk about how these L2s manage to give us the speed we crave without breaking the very thing that makes the main chain so valuable. Okay, so what in the world is a layer 2? Let's just call them L2s. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's a separate, super fast highway built right on top of the main secure layer 1 road. Its whole purpose in life is to take all the traffic and all the heavy lifting off the main road so things can move way, way faster. So how does this magic actually work? It's pretty genius, actually. First, the L2 takes a whole bunch of transactions and processes them off-chain in its own super fast environment. Then it takes all those transactions and bundles them up, or rolls them up, into one tiny compressed data packet. And then, here's the key part, it just posts that one single tiny proof back down to the main Ethereum chain. It's like sending a summary instead of the whole book. And what do you get from all this? The results are incredible. We're talking lightning-fast transactions, fees that are so low they're practically free. We're talking fractions of a cent sometimes. And the best part? Because that final little summary gets recorded on the main chain, you get all the same Fort Knox-level security of Ethereum itself. It is literally the best of both worlds. No compromises. And this quote just nails it. You have to remember, Layer 2s aren't trying to replace Ethereum. They're here to extend it. Think of them like a powerful upgrade, a turbocharger that lets the main engine do what it does best, but for millions more people. So we have this incredible solution, and it's showing up at the perfect time. Because right now, the demand for this kind of scale isn't just growing, it's absolutely exploding. So what's behind this massive rush to Layer 2s? Well, it's really coming from three key areas. First up, you've got DeFi. For it to truly work at scale, you need to be able to do millions of tiny transactions. And that's just a non-starter with high gas fees. Then you have NFTs and gaming. I mean, come on, nobody's going to play a game if every single action costs $50 and takes a minute to confirm. You need it to be instant and cheap. And finally, the big players, the institutions. They need to know what their costs are going to be. They need predictable fees and speed they can rely on. Layer 2s, they make all of this possible. And really, it all comes down to this. This isn't just a nice to have. Without Layer 2s, the whole dream of mass adoption just stops. It hits a brick wall. This technology is the key to unlocking blockchains for, well, everyone. And because L2s are so crucial, they're causing this really fundamental shift, a change in how we even think about using Ethereum. The whole user experience, the way people first step into this world, it's being completely rewritten. Now, this might blow your mind a little bit, but it's true. The vast majority of new people coming into the Ethereum world today, they never even touch layer 1. They go straight to an L2. They might never know the pain of a $100 gas fee or a transaction that's stuck for an hour. That's their normal. And you can see it right here. It's not just the new users. It's everything. The people, the money, the liquidity, and maybe most importantly, the developers who are building the next cool thing, they're all moving. They're all going to where the action is, where things are cheap and fast. The entire center of gravity for the whole Ethereum ecosystem is shifting, and it's shifting to layer 2. So this is the new normal. Layer 2s are the new front door to Ethereum. You don't go around back to the slow, expensive, creaky old door anymore. Nope. You walk right in the front where it's fast, cheap, and easy to get started. That's the reality today. Okay, so where does all of this leave us? What comes next? Let's kind of wrap this up by looking at the bigger picture. I think the most important thing to take away from all of this is that layer 2s are, well, they're not just some cool side project anymore. They've graduated. They are no longer experiments. They are the infrastructure. This is the stuff that the next billion users are going to be onboarded with. They are absolutely essential. Now, we've talked a lot about what L2s do, but we kind of glossed over how they do it. And it turns out there's more than one way to build that super fast highway. You've got things called optimistic rollups, and then you've got these really futuristic sounding ZK rollups. What's the difference? Which one is better? Well, that is a whole topic in itself, and it's exactly what we're going to dive into in our next explainer. Hope to see you there.
Subscribe and visit Web3 Newswire for visibility and credibility of your Web3 projects.